Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Deepak Sinha and welcome you all to the Sinha classes. And today we are going to discuss about the functions in C. So the placement preparation using functions in C. This is the topic of today. So before going forward, as I told you, this channel is not all about the basics, but before going further for the question, so let me discuss something about the function in very short and then we'll move further on the questions, right? So what is function? Basically, in my language I have written here, function is self-contained block of statement. Function is basically self-contained block of statement which performs coherent task of same kind again and again. Whenever you wish to call it, function is going to perform the same kind of work task again and again, right? So function returns a value always. If no values is to be returned by the function, so it must return void. So this is very important. Function always returns a value. This is very important one, right? So what is function? Basically function is self-contained block of statement which performs coherent task of same kind again and again. And when you are whenever you are trying to call it, it will perform the same type of task, right? So what are the uses of function while we are trying to use it? So it is going to use for the reusability of the code. Fine. The first one is it is used for the reusability of the code. Second, it gives a modular approach to the program. Third, it's very easy to use, and fourth, easy to debug. Meaning, what I'm trying to say, let us suppose if you have created a program here, and this program is for, let us take factorial. This is for factorial. Fine. Now, this program, if you're trying to call, if you're trying to compute 20 times this factorial, you need to run this program 20 times. This program 20 times. Fine. Or you'll have to write the code 20 times. Fine. But the point is, if you don't want to write this code again and again, you can create a function for the factorial, right? And you can call this function 20 times. Fine. No need to write this code 20 times. Simply call it 20 times. So it is going to give you the reusability of the code. It is going to give you the modular approach. What I mean by saying modular approach? Modular approach means, let us try to assume there is a function of library. There is a software of library. There is a software of library. In this library software, there may be issue module. There may be a return module. There may be inventory module. There may be, find calculation module, whatsoever. So this all usability of like issue, return, inventory, find, you can create a function and you can just assemble in main. You can just make, just call it in main so that it will work properly. Let us try to assume. So now you are trying to create a modular approach. You are trying to create a modular approach by different module, like issue module is there, return module is there, inventory module is there, find module is there. So it is going to give you a modular approach of the program. And if there is modular approach, it is very easy to use and very easy to debug. Let us suppose you are trying to change some policy in find. So you can go to the find module and you can debug there, right? If you're trying to change some policy in issue or return, you can go to the issue and change it accordingly. Fine. So these are the four basically uses of function which we discussed. To define a function, you see, function, you need to write a header for the function. This is header. Fine. In this header, this is return type. I already discussed you that function must return a value. Then you can write the function name. This is the function name. Then you should pass the argument, parameter or argument, and mind it, there should not be any semicolon. Fine. Then you can write the statement in a block within curly braces. Within curly braces, you can return a statement. Fine. Definition, you need to write return type. Function always returns a value. If not, you should write void here. Then the function name, then the parameter or argument, parameters or argument, or sometimes parameter, so it can be list also. There should not be any semicolon while defining a function. Mind it. And after that, you will have to write a body. In body there is opening braces and closing braces, as it's a block. I already told you function is block of statement. So block means you'll have to write a statement within parenthesis. Fine. So now how it is going to work? How it is working? Let us suppose you have just declared a function like this. This is the function declaration. This is integer is return type. This sum is the name of the function. This integer a b is the argument list. There is no semicolon here, and the statement is return a plus b. So it is going to return a plus b, right? So now you are trying to call it in the main. Fine. So in the main you are trying to call it with the value 10 and 30. So 10 will be the value of a and 30 will be the value of b. So what it's going to do, it is going to write 10 plus 30, so altogether 40. So the return statement will return the value or the cursor from where this function is called. So this function is called from here. So this return is going to call just come here, and the value 40 will be assigned to this add. You see, to this add. Finally, after the finish of this statement, it will come here. It is going to print. So it will print the addition is equal to 40. I guess I am clear, right? So this is how it is going to it will work. Okay. Now next, how does C function works? You see, first of all, you will have to declare a function. This is, we are calling it as prototype declaration or prototyping also. After declaring a function, you need to define the function. You see, declaration means the prototyping or signature. Definition means writing of the body, writing of the function. Then you need to call it as and when required. And when you are going to call, it will execute the whole function. Fine. So this is how the function is working. Again, I am repeating. This channel is not all about the basics. We are just trying to cover the in very short time, so that I may directly come to the question. What are the types of function? Fine. Okay. What are the types of function? So types of function meaning it depends upon the return type and argument. We can divide function in 4 broad categories, 4 types. Function with no argument, no return value. No argument, no return value. Meaning void f, like this. You see, here there is no return type, no argument. Function with no argument with return type, meaning let us say integer f and no return type. You see, here there is no argument, but there is return type. Function with argument and with no return type. Argument is there, but return type is not there, right? Meaning no return type and with argument. With argument means like integer a, something like that, right? Function with argument and return type, meaning integer sum, integer a comma integer b, right? This is with return type and with argument. This one is very popular. This one is very popular, right? So many a time you need to use the 4th one. So we'll try many a time, means in practical situation we need to use 4th one, right? Now after that we need to know what are the types of function. What are the types of function? Fine. So types of function, we can broadly divide the function into 2 broad categories. One is user defined function. One is user defined function. Another is library function. You see, since day one we are using some functions like printf. We are using some functions like printf, scanf, getchar, many functions we are using since day one, right? So this printf, scanf we have not created, right? And one more thing I must tell you, how to know whether this is function or a variable. Any word, like if I am writing print, this can be identifier, variable, anything. But if I am writing print parenthesis, so a word followed by parenthesis, meaning this is function, right? So this function, these all functions we are using since day one, right? But we have not created it. Means it is predefined function. It is library function. So how we are using it? We are using it through some header file, some library, and the printf and scanf you can get it through stereo.h. That's why in the beginning we are writing has include stereo dot h, that is standard input output dot h. Fine. So through this standard input output dot h you can get the library functions and you can use directly. There is no problem. But our scope is not, means this class scope is not to use how to use the predefined function or library function. Our idea is how to create user defined function. Fine. And this is very important. But there are disadvantages also of the function, and you'll have to just understand the disadvantage, because there is many questions you are going to see with this disadvantage. The first disadvantage is cannot return multiple value. Your function cannot return multiple value. This is the disadvantage of function in C. Mind it, we are discussing in C, not in Java or Python. So this is the disadvantage of function in C. That is, it cannot return multiple values. But I am not saying that this is a disadvantage of function in other language. So just try to understand this point. Fine. And memory and time overhead due to stack. So whenever you are calling function, it is going to use stack. Fine. So there is memory and time overhead is there due to this stack. So sometime you'll find some difficulty while calling function, especially when this is recursive function. So what is recursive function? How we are going to use, we'll discuss. To go for the question, right? This is time to go for the question. Okay. So let me ask the first question for the placement preparation. Yeah, I discussed the basics. So this is the first question. You see, the first question is, let me make it a bit the first question is, in C, parameters are always passed by value, passed by reference. Non-pointers variable are passed by value and pointers are passed by reference. D, passed by result. Mostly this is just to confuse you. This is mostly the student will go for the C, non-pointer variable are passed by value and pointers are passed by reference. But the question is, parameters are always, it's not asking that how to call a function. It's asking parameter, right? So just see here, parameters, right? So parameters are always passed by value. Fine. Now you'll ask me why I'm saying this. You see, you can call the function by value or by reference. Parameter, whenever saying parameter, so parameter, even if you are using pointer, it is going to take the value of that pointer. Fine. So the answer to this question is A, that is passed by value. So mind it. Fine. See the question first. The question, what is the demand of the question? Question is asking, in C, parameter are always passed by value or passed. It is not asking the call a function. Fine. So it is asking parameter. So parameter is always passed by value. Mind it. Okay. So let following is true about the return type of function in C. You see, function can return any type. Function can return any type except array and function. Function can return any type except array, function and union. Function can return any type except array, function, union and function, pointer and union, right? Function, it cannot return more than one, right? If you don't remember, let me show you just a minute before I discussed you, right? Here, cannot return multiple values, cannot return multiple values. Fine, just we see. And what this question is asking, you see what this question is asking. Question is asking which of the following is true about the return type of function in C. So you see, function can return any type except array and functions. Function can't return function, right? So function any type except array and function, right? So this will be the right answer. Okay, so let me jump to the next question. Yeah, this is the interesting one. A main function, right? Main function. I'm trying to print the value and you are calling here main. But remember, this main is what? It is not a function. You are not writing like this, right? You are writing like this, main. So what is the difference between main function and main? Let me tell you. When you are writing main followed by parenthesis, meaning you are referring function. But when you are writing main, simple main means you are referring the pointer to main, the address of main. This is basically pointer to main. So you see, it's going to, what's going to print? Now tell me, what is going to print? And the simple answer it is going to print the address of main function. Understood? To print the address of main function. This one, address of main function. And at what is the address of main function? It is some random value only, because we don't know. Okay, but we can't say the random value. Always is going to print the address of main function. Fine. So this, the answer will be A. So let me show you. Okay. So let me run it. Fine. Now you see. You see, this is the address of main function. Okay. Is it okay? Okay. So now next. So this is the next question. There is a function called dynamic, and in the dynamic function it is written integer s comma triple dot. You see here, triple dot, and it's trying to print percentage d s. And in this main, what you did, you called this dynamic function 2 times. In this main, you called this dynamic function 2 times, right? With different parameter 2, 4, 6, 8, 3, 6, 9, right? Now, what is the meaning of this triple dot? Of this triple dot, fine. So whenever you are writing triple dot, meaning you can just call this function with any number of parameter argument, right? So you see here, I called this dynamic function with some in the first line I called with the 4 parameter. In the second line I called with the 3 parameter. So whenever you are writing 3 dots, meaning you can call this function with any n number of parameter, but you are just trying to print one value, that is integer a. So first time it is going to print 2, second time it is going to print 3. So the output to this question will be 2 and 3, right? The output of this question will be 2 and 3. You see, there is n number of option will be there, but the answer will be this 2 and 3. Let me code, and you see the output is 2 and 3. Fine. I think you got. What is the meaning of this 3 dot? I told you. You can call this dynamic function with any number of parameter argument. Here I called 4 with 4 parameter. Here I called with the 3 parameter. But you see, you're trying to print percentage d, one value. So with this, it's going to call 3, and with this, it's going to call 2, and this 3, right? So the output will be 2 and 3. I guess it's okay. Very important one. All right. Let me show you the question first, then we'll discuss. Question is, what is the meaning of using extern before function declaration? For example, following function sum is met extern. You see here, there is extern. Fine. Extern its sum, and there is 3 parameter, integer x, y, z. And here you are writing return x plus y plus z. Now, the options are 4. What are those options? Function is made globally available. Extern means nothing, same without extern keyword. Function need not to be declared before its use. Function is made local. Function is made local to the file. You see? Again, what is the meaning of using extern before this function? This is your function. Okay, this is your function. Fine, this is function. Fine. And there are 4 options. Function is made globally available. Extern means nothing. Sum is same without extern keyword. Right. Function need not to be declared before its use. Function is made local. And the answer to this question is B. Answer to this question is B. Extern means nothing. Sum is same without extern keyword. Why? Right. The answer is Y. You see, you can write extern keyword, there is no problem at all to make it globally. Fine. Something global. But the function declaration is always global to the program. Understood? if you have declared any function, so globally it will be available to the program anywhere, right? So whether you're writing extern or not, it hardly matters. Whether you're writing extern or not, it hardly matters. Fine. So in that case, this B is going to be the correct answer, that extern means nothing. Sum is same without extern keyword. Am I clear? If not, I am telling you, you can write me the comment and I'll just discuss once again. There is no problem. So let us discuss the sixth question. What is the sixth question? Sixth question is saying, what is the meaning of using static before function declaration? What is the meaning of using static before function declaration? For example, following function sum is made static. You see here, you can see static. Just before we see extern, right? So extern is having no meaning. If you are writing extern before function declaration, it's actually meaningless. So this static function, you see the return type is integer, the name of function is sum, and here there is 3 parameter and it is writing a return x plus y plus z. Fine. So the options to this is static means nothing. Sum is same without a static keyword like extern, the function, right? Function need not to be declared before its use. Access to a static function is restricted to the file where they are declared, right? Restricted to the file where they are declared. And static functions are made inline. There are 4 options. You see, this static keyword and extern keyword, it bit separate. So this is not possible. This is for extern. Function need not to be declared before its use. No, this is not correct. Static functions are made inline. No, this is also not correct. So let me discuss about this. Access to a static function is restricted to the file where they are declared, and this is the right answer. You see, this is the primary level of you see encapsulation, means before C++ or Java. If you are trying to just write a function, and the same function can be used by in the same file where they have declared, so you need to make it static. Fine. So this is the primary way of encapsulation in C, right, before the use of object-oriented programming. So this is the right answer. If you are writing static before any function name, so access to the static function is restricted to the file where they are declared. If you have declared a static function, so mind it, you can use it within this file only. You can't call it to the other file. So this is the answer to this question. Let's come to the next question. Next question is in C, what is the meaning of the following function prototype? What is the meaning of the following function prototype with empty parameter list? You see, this is empty parameter list. Fine. So there are 4 options to this question. What is that? Function can only be called without any parameter. Function can be called with any number of parameter of any type. Function can be called with any number of integer parameter. Function can be called with any integer parameter, right? So whenever there is function declaration with empty parameter, so the answer to this question will be function can be called with any number of parameter of any type. Function can be called with any number of parameter with any type. So the next question, you see here, so let us come to the next question, and next question is here. You see, you can find there is a function with 2 parameter, that is integer n and integer sum, and the body of the function is here, right? So we'll see the body, but let me see how we are going to call it. In the main, we are in this next question, you see here there is a method with 2 parameter n and sum. This is the body of the function, and here there is main method. Main method, you are calling this function with 2048, that is a, and sum is 0, and here you are going to print sum again and again, and finally you are going to print sum also here, right? The final value of sum is, I guess it's always 0 only, but here you are going to call here you are going to print k, right? So after calling sum, you are going to print k. Okay, so this is the question, and there are 4 options. The output can be 80840214, 84020, 204814, 20480, right? So as per the condition, either this or this can be correct answer, because you see the last value will always be 0, right? The last value will always be 0. Why I am saying this? Because you see here it is printing sum and the value of sum is 0, right? So answer will be either B or D. That is for sure, right? Now let me see which answer is correct. Which answer is correct? So you see, you are just calling this function with a and sum. The value of a is 2048. So the value of n will be 2048 and the value of sum will be 0. Okay. So n logically equal to 0. No, it's not possible because the value of n is 2048. So what is doing? 2048 mod 10. 2048 mod 10. Now you see 2048 mod 10 will be what? Simple, 8. Okay, so 8, then j is equal to n divide 10. So what is the value of j? It is 2048 divide 10, meaning 204. Okay, then sum is equal to sum plus k. So the initial value of sum is 0. So 0 plus 8, that is 8, right? Yeah, 8. So now again you are going to call this function j and sum. Now what is j? Here we calculated 204, right? Here we calculated 204. So it is going to be called with 204 and sum. The value of sum is, you see here we see the value of sum is 8, right? This is the value of sum. This is the value of sum. So it will be called with 204 and 8. 204 and 8. This is 204 and this is 8. Okay. So 204 and 8. Now you see n logically equal to 0. No, it's not 0. So k is equal to what? N. That is 204 mod 10. 204 mod 10. 204 mod 10. You see? 204 mod 10. So it will be 4, right? It will be 4. Then the value of k is 4. Okay. The value of j is what? The value of j is 204 divided 10, meaning 20, right? 20. So you see 20. Fine. So sum is equal to sum plus k. What is the value of sum? So it will be 8 plus k. 8 plus k, right? So 8 plus k, that is 4, that is 12, right? So this is the value of sum. Then it is going to call with j and sum. Now what is the value of j? The value of j is 20 and the value of sum is 12. The value of j is 20 and the value of sum is 12. So likewise, what is happening? If you see what it is happening, it's simply breaking this all values, right? 2048. Every time you are getting, you see, first time it break 2, then 4, then something like that, right? So finally the output will be 2048 and 0. You see, here I told you, right? Either within this and this, right? So finally you'll get this as output. Now you see, when I'm going to run it, you see 2048 and 0. What is happening? You just proceed how I just try to solve it. You'll get it 2048. And you see the simple answer when you are trying to print sum, the sum you declared 0. So if there is 4 options, so just try to find where you are finding 0. So this is 20, and then you are trying to dry run it. You'll find that it is breaking this number every time. So finally you'll get 2048 and 0. Right? We discuss the next question. Next question is again very interesting one. Right? Now you see, there is 2 methods, F1 and F2. F1, this is method number 2, F2, and here you are calling F1 and F2, right? And after that you are just writing this line, x is equal to c minus a minus b, and finally you are printing the value of x. Okay, so this is one of very important question here, where there is two function f1 and f2, right? And here there is main. You see, here there is main. In this main, the value of a, b, c is 4, 5, 6, and you call this function a and b, right? So by calling the function a and b, what we did, if you see, we simply change the value of b to c and this c to b. If you see, there is this function is simply swapping the value. Just go through it, simply swapping the value. Fine. So what it will happen, you see this line is c minus a. I told you it's swapped, right? So it will be, c is now 5. So 5 minus 6 minus 1 and minus 1 minus 4. Fine, minus 1 minus 4. So it will be minus 5. So ultimately this is going to give you the result minus 5. Fine. So this function is simple, just to confuse you what is the value of a, b, c, and simply it is swapping the value b and c. Now the value of c is 6. You see, the value of c will be is 5 and the value of b is 6, right? So if you are going to run it, you will find the value of x will be minus 5, right? So these are the two functions, just to confuse you that what is the value of a, b, and c, and if you know the value of a, b, c, you can compute it very easily, and finally it is minus 5. So in this continuation, let me discuss another question, very interesting one, right? So this is the question, and I think you know the answer to this question because I already discussed you this thing, right? What do you think? What is the answer? You see, here there is a method and you are simply calling, you see, you are not writing any parenthesis here. You are simply calling f-double-o, right? And I discussed similar question during the beginning of this session. So when this situation will come, like when you are trying to call a method without parenthesis, so it is simply, it will be pointed to this function and it is going to give the you see address, right? Okay, so it is going to give you the address to this method, and finally when you are going to run it, what will happen? Actually, there will be no output to this question and there is no compilation error also, right? During the technical interview or technical session, there will be one option that this is going to print compilation error, but actually there is no compilation error. And if you are trying to print it, let me show you. If you are trying to print it, printf, if I am writing %d and thus, you'll see what is going to happen. You see, it's going to give you the address of this function, because if you are trying to call the function without parenthesis, it is simply pointed to this function and it will give you the address to this function, right? This we discussed earlier. Okay, so after that, let me discuss the I guess this will be the last question to this session. Okay, so this will be our last question of this session, and you see the question. Question is, here there is main, and main there is two variable x and y, right? So the value of x is 5, the value of y is 10. Okay, there's a loop and this loop will run 2 times. This loop will run 2 times. Okay, and you are calling this method, you see this line, y equals y plus this, let us take f1. I am not writing the whole, f1 x plus f2 x. Okay, so when you are calling this f1 with x, now you see the value of y is 10 already, it's given here. So this is 10 plus f1 with value x, and what is the value of x? The value of x is 5. Okay, then again f2 with x, that is 5. Okay, this is also 5. So when you are calling this x with 5, you see it will come here. The value of x is 5. Okay, value of y, here there is value, there is variable y. Okay, now it is going to call second function, right, f2 with x, and the value of x is still 5, right? This is 5. So this is going to call this function with value 5. Okay, now you see here there is static variable y. So y is equal to 10, and you see y, next line is y is equal to y plus 1. So y will be 11, right? And then it's going to return y plus x. So y plus x meaning what? Y is 11 and the x is 5. So it is going to return what? 16, right? 16. So 16 will be returned where? 16 will be returned from here. It will return here, right? So it will return 16. Fine. So this will return 16 here to this here. So it is 16. Now again, it will call x once again, right? this 2. So this 2 will come again with the value 5. Okay. So this will again call with 5 here. You see, again it will come here, but this time now the value of y is 11 already. So this will be 12 plus y, that is 5, that is 17. It is going to return 17, right? So 16 plus 17 is how much? 33. You see, 17 plus 16, 33 plus 10, that is 43, right? So this is going to print 43 in first loop. Now this is your turn to find what will be the second turn, and I'm just running it and you'll see it. You see, in the first term it will print 43 and the second loop it will print 80. So this is the answer to this question. I hope I am clear, and the question which I discussed you today, it's going to help you out. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Bye bye. Take care, and don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you. Thanks a lot.